Be in the recording. Okay, the recording started now. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. So I muted everyone at this point. I'm going to unmute each one of you. So, and you introduce with your name and city, and briefly explain if you have any programming background at all. Absolutely, I don't assume any programming background, but it's you just say that to me. So absolutely, I don't assume anything. So let's start with LM. Hi, LM.
Yes, hi, June.
So
Do you hear me?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
So you are LM, and you are from DC? Oh no, you are from Maryland, right?
Yes.
Okay. So do you have any programming background at all?
Yes.
Okay. What kind of?
I have school training in Java.
Okay.
C++. I have also programming experience in C#.
Oh, you are the one I talked to. Yes. So you are a C# guy. I remember speaking to you. Okay. Okay, very good. So it'll be very similar to C#, and it'll be a lot of fun with getting the complete bigger picture. And all these concepts pretty much are going to be same across Java and .NET as well. I mean C# as well. So very good to have you. Welcome.
Oh, thank you. Thanks so much.
You're welcome. Okay, Ankita, you are the next one in Alphabet Cloud. So, hello.
Me? Oh.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it's me. Oh, yeah. Hi.
It's
Good
Ankita.
evening.
It's Ankita.
Yeah. I'm Ankita, and I'm from Detroit. I did my engineering in India, and so I have a programming background. I did a job in programming for 6 months, and I was a lecturer in an engineering college. So I used to give the lecture on C++, database, and so.
Very good. So we have one more lecturer here, so that's good. And so, and you have some Java background as well, right?
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. It'll be a lot of fun. Yep. And I know Ankita. Ankita's husband was my previous student. So
Yeah.
Very good, Ankita. Welcome.
You're very good. Thanks.
Yep, you're welcome. Hi, Fami. How are you?
Hi, good evening, everybody. I'm from Woodbridge, Virginia.
Okay. Very good.
Currently, I basically taught myself C#, SQL, ASP.NET, and I enjoy doing it. I love coding. So
Awesome. I mean, see, that's what I wanted to hear. So you love coding, huh? Very good. I like the way you put it, actually. So you are a C# guy.
That is correct, yes.
Absolutely. So it'll be a lot of fun for you too. I mean, it's a lot of things are similar conceptually. A lot of things are similar, even syntax, not too different. But it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, getting to know the bigger picture. It'll be exciting. Okay. Welcome, Fami.
No, thank you.
Okay, Kulsum.
Hello,
yes, Kulsum.
Hi, my name is Kulsum. I live in Sterling Heights, Michigan. I did my MCA from India. Excuse me. And I do have a little bit of experience in working with C++, and Oracle and VB, but it's been a few years since I did that, so I'm trying to get back into the programming field. So
Awesome.
That's why I signed up for this.
Right. Since you worked on C and C++, I can tell you, a friend, you are going to love Java, no doubt.
Yeah.
It's developer friendly language, so it's very good, and I'm sure you'll love it.
Thank you.
Okay. Welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Hi, Melvin.
Hi. I'm Melvin Argan. I live in Reston, Virginia. And then I don't have any experience programming, but I've been taking some QA classes, and I got into VB scripting, and then I figured out that I have the desire to learn Java. I think I want to become a programmer.
Awesome.
And so that's why I'm here. Yeah.
Awesome. Very good. Welcome. It'll be as fun as soccer. Okay. Hi, Rakesh.
Hi, this is Rakesh. I am from Princeton, New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any programming language experience, but I worked for a company on embedded systems, and I love programming, and I know the concepts of Java, but I would like to just get in touch with it.
Awesome.
And,
yeah, I know Rakesh for a long time. So this guy loves programming. I know that. I mean, he was my previous student. So he got into different different path, but now he wants to get back on Java. Welcome, Rakesh.
Thank you.
Yep. So we have Ramu, but Ramu is not a student, so we don't let him introduce. Okay, Shiba. So we are just, tell your name. Since you just joined, I'm telling you. So you just tell us your name and place, and tell us your programming background if you have any.
Oh,
You're typing? You can speak.
yeah.
Yeah, you can speak.
Okay, then.
Are you shy? That's fine. She's from Michigan only. Okay, she's not connected to phone. Oh no, then I need to connect to phone. Okay, that's fine. She's from Michigan as well, and she has, she definitely has Java experience, some experience and some programming knowledge, I believe. So welcome, Shiba. And then Tim Green. Hi, Tim. Tim in DC, you're a web programmer. I'm having audio problems, so no mic. Perl, JavaScript, HTML. Awesome. So you are mostly a front-end guy. Very cool. That will be exciting. I want to learn a lot of stuff from you. So you must be loving HTML5 now, huh? So very good. So HTML5, jQuery, a lot of fun stuff. You must be playing you must be having a lot of fun with front end. Yes, front end is hot, pretty hot now. So having Java skills in your tool set will make you even better individual as a whole, better developer as a whole. So very good. Welcome, Tim. So now it's time to introduce myself. I'm Venkat. I live in Troy, Michigan. So I'm a solution architect in Detroit metropolitan area for one of the financial institutions here. I have around 12 years of experience in Java J2E technologies. In the past, I worked as a developer. I started my career with teaching Java itself. So in fact, I'm not, I didn't have a computer science background. I'm a chemical engineer, but somehow got into this field, but got so much interest into it. And programming and teaching are the two things that I love most. So I've been programming for the last 12 years, and I've been teaching for on and off for the last 12 years. And I worked in various countries. I worked in Malaysia. I worked in Singapore. I worked in India. And now in the US for the last 6 years, six and a half years, I believe. So I worked as developer, Java developer. I worked as tech lead later on. And for the last 1.5, 2 years, I've been working as a solution architect, overseeing the projects in in the nearby bank. Our bank name is Flagstar Bank. So we're mainly mortgage bank. So I work horizontally with various teams. That's my day-to-day life. So I get this opportunity to look at the code very low level and at the very high level, looking at the code, from 10,000 feet above. So I get the opportunity to deal with both the stuff. So I'm a hands-on developer, and I love teaching. That's me. So since I love programming, obviously teaching Java itself is a great thing. So it's combining two of my strengths and two of my passions into one. So that's why I love teaching Java. That's about me. So today I welcome you all for this orientation. Today I'm going to explain, typically my agenda is going to be very simple. Mortgage, I have a lot of background in mortgage. Oh, Melvin, yeah? Okay, we'll talk about it. We went through various ups and downs. Our bank, we are one of the top 10 lenders in US. We are mainly a wholesale lender. If you don't know about that jargon, don't worry about it at all. So it's not time. Anyways, so my agenda is going to be simple. I'm going to tell you what I teach. This is my whiteboard. This is where you're going to see all the stuff that I'm going to teach from here onwards. So typically, I'm going to tell you what I teach, and how I teach, and why Java, why now, why me. And once we get into serious teaching, then we'll just talk about various things like duration, how long does it take, about my blog. This is where everything happens. My blog is javavenkat.com. This is the entry point for everything in this training. So you should find out everything here. If you don't find out, shoot an email. My goal is actually not to email anyone. Rather, I want to put everything in my blog and make it available to everyone, so that's the communication tool between you and I. That's how I work. So duration, my blog, and I record all these videos, and where do I put it? So videos. And of course, how does this work, this online training? What's my experience with online training? How does this work? Does it really work? Or, do we lose the collaboration, strengths and weaknesses? We'll talk about it. And then the schedule. Typically the schedule. One good thing about the online training, especially my program, is if you can't make it for any session, that's totally fine, because I'm going to record the complete session and upload the entire video somewhere in some location called screencast.com. I'll get to that in a minute. And then you just go and watch the video again and again and again. You can watch any number of times. So I'm going to make this video available 1 month after the until 1 month after the training. So you have plenty of time. You can go back at any point, and then you can always look at any video, learn the concepts that you missed. And then another important point is my source code. I may not talk about necessarily in this order, because I didn't follow the order here, but I'll get to that. Okay, that's it. And then this is the biggest item in my agenda. So any questions that you may have, anything related to Java, J2E, doesn't have to be technical. Anything, how is the market right now? What do I will I get benefit out of it? I'm a front-end developer. What do you think about me being Java developer? Or I'm a QA guy, what do you recommend? Everything. I'm not saying I'm the expert, but I have plenty of experience in, oh, you do not hear me? Leonard, can you hear me? Ooh. Hello, everyone. Let me unmute everyone. Hey, guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
You didn't hear for a second or something? Is that what happened? Have you been hearing? Hello? Have you guys been hearing? No issues so far? Okay.
Yeah, I could hear it.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Very good. So now let's get to that. So Q&A, questions and answers, is that's where I'm going to spend most of my time. And before we get to all this, everything is fine. Okay, very good. So while I'm teaching, if you have any doubts at any time, you can interrupt me at any time. So you don't have to wait until the end of the class. So if I'm teaching a particular concept that I'm so deep into it, I will say that please hold your thought or write the question here in chat window, and you just write your thought somewhere and then ask in few minutes. Okay, I might say that because I just want to finish my thought, whatever I'm that particular concept, I just want to finish it. I might get to that, but anytime you can stop me, that's totally fine. How do you stop me? So you don't have a raise hand or anything like that like in WebEx, but what you can do is you can use this chat window and you say that, so I have a question. Simple. I'll stop what I'm teaching here and then get you guys as soon as possible. Okay? That's how I address the question. So you don't absolutely have to wait, because if I answer that question, probably the rest of the session, you might be able to catch up. And you might have better understanding once I answer that, once I spend a couple of minutes there. So that's my goal, and that's how I teach. That's my style. So what I teach. So I teach everything related to Java and JTE. Everything related to Java and JTE. So I don't assume, as I told you before, I don't assume any programming language experience. You don't have to be a developer. You don't have to know anything at all. In my current batch that's going on right now, a couple of ladies, they didn't have any programming, any computer background at all. They didn't know how to create a folder actually on day one, but they showed so much dedication. Now after a couple of weeks, of course now it's been 4 or 5 weeks, but after a couple of weeks they caught up with everyone. They are like anyone else, so they were caught up with everything else, and they were actually doing much better than others because they're showing so much dedication. So that's why I don't assume anything. It's a matter of a week or two. That's all. I'm going to spend time with you, and then I'll bring you on board with others, and then everyone is same in just a couple of weeks. So I'll spend some extra time if needed. So no worries at all. So I'm always available for any questions, anything. I'll give you my cell phone number. I think you have my cell phone number already. So I don't assume anything, and I teach everything starting from core Java, and then very fundamentals of object-oriented programming concepts, and then I will teach inside the core Java itself, the fundamental Java itself. There are multiple sections in it. So this is a big section, object-oriented principles. There's like inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, so on and so forth. So you don't have to worry about it. I'm I'll go very detailed. This, I'm just trying to give you an idea. If you have some understanding, if you heard some of these terms somewhere, okay, I'm going to assure you that I'm going to cover everything starting from the scratch all the way to the end of J2EE, so you will see the end of the tunnel. So core Java, object-oriented programming features. I'll talk about very little about multi-threading. Very little. I'll get to that. And then exception handling. And then the most important, collections framework. And then database concepts as well. I'll talk about the database concepts. So if you have no idea about the database, absolutely fine. I'm going to give you a brief introduction to database concepts, what is relational database, what is table, how to join table, and everything else. So I use MySQL as a database here for my examples. And then I introduce something called JDBC. After the core fundamentals are done, I use something called Java database connectivity. So how do you connect to your database using Java is a main goal here. Okay. And then we move on to web programming. It's much more fun, much more tangible. So here, once we talk about the JDBC, I'll talk about a pattern called DAO, data access object here. So you don't have to worry about what data access object at this point. It's way further down. And then I'll move on to web technologies. So here, it's more tangible stuff, more fun stuff. I'll talk about HTML and JavaScript. Well, I'm not as expert as the other guy, Tim, but I'll give a brief introduction to HTML and JavaScript and move on to the more exciting, that's something that produces dynamic HTML in Java, called servlets. This is where the real fun part is. This is where we actually create the real world web application. So we create a simple bookstore, or we create something like a simple movie store. Okay. So if you want to rent movies, how do you do it? How do you do it in your website? So we create a website. That's the point I'm making. So using servlets. So later on, we will learn something called JSP, Java Server Pages. So at each point, as I introduce more technologies, here I'm going to explain the strengths of servlets, what it can do and everything. And then slowly I will lead to JSP. So you don't even feel that pain. So I'll talk about the disadvantages of servlets and how we tackled it using JSP, and then how we felt initially that JSP is probably the replacement for servlets. And then later on, I'll slowly move to something like a different pattern called MVC architecture, Model View Controller Architecture. Here I'm going to explain that whatever we learned about JSP was wrong, because we thought JSP was a replacement for servlets. In real life, it's not. It's actually JSP and servlets. They complement each other. So we will learn that in MVC. And how can we use both servlets and JSP together is the main bigger goal here. So, and then we transition, but how do I implement MVC? Well, I can do it on my own, but it's very pain implementing that on my own. So is there anything that's available already in Java community that I can use as is to implement MVC architecture? So we will learn something called Struts framework here. So Struts actually implements MVC framework in a nice way, and you don't have to write everything from scratch. You don't have to implement MVC on your own. You just use Struts and everything will be taken care by Struts. So we learn that in Struts. And then we'll slowly move on to here. I'll talk about, very briefly, I'll talk about EJB architecture, Enterprise Java Beans. So I'll talk about what were the challenges we had back in 2000 and why EJB came into picture, and what were some of the problems that EJB promised to address and how it addressed. It actually did address those issues. But eventually, I'll explain that it's a very big pain. EJBs were never developer friendly, so we didn't like them. So why EJBs are extant? What are the problems of EJB? So I'll talk about these enterprise Java beans, and then move on to better technology, and I'll use something very, very exciting in the current market is Spring Framework. So here I'll introduce something called dependency injection, if you have heard that term before in Spring, and I introduce another concept called aspect-oriented programming. So I'll introduce both of these concepts using Spring, and I'll show you how much the life has become easier. So with Spring, life is so much easier. So we evolve. We had servlets, but we didn't stop there. We evolved into JSP, but we thought that JSPs were the replacement for servlets. We eventually realized that no, they are not replacements. They can complement each other through MVC. And we don't want to implement our own MVC and then move on to struts and then EJB in the service layer, and then we feel the pain of EJB and then move on to Spring. I don't spend too much time here on EJBs because Spring is a buzzword right now, right? So I talk about dependency injection and AOP of Spring, and then here what we do here is whatever the MVC, the web application that we have written using struts, we are going to rewrite that using something else called Spring MVC. Well, struts is great, but we have a better technology, and this has been adopted by industry pretty well. So I'll talk about Spring MVC and how we can rebuild the total application using Spring in the business layer and Spring MVC in the web layer, and how can we rebuild the total application using Spring MVC is my goal. And then once we do that Spring MVC app, in the data layer we have this JDBC, right? So we are going to replace this JDBC with better technology called Hibernate. Hibernate is a ORM tool, object relational mapping tool. So we use Hibernate to replace the entire data layer, and we write better DAOs from here onwards. So we learn more from Hibernate, and then whatever the pain that we feel in JDBC, we are going to fix them in Hibernate and rebuild the total application using Spring MVC and Hibernate. And then during this journey, I introduce a tool called Maven. Maven is a build tool to make our life easy, combining whatever we have learned into very simple, nice little way. It helps you manage your dependencies because it manages the dependency through a concept called transitive dependency management. So I'll talk about this transitive dependency management using Maven, and then how do you build your total application using Maven and deploy it into Tomcat. So somewhere here I introduce Tomcat server as well. Tomcat is a web server and servlet engine. So we deploy all of our applications into Tomcat. So using Maven as a build tool, we do that. And finally, we use, we talk briefly about web services. Here in web services, we have two kinds of web services. One is SOAP-based web services, Simple Object Access Protocol, and the other one is called RESTful web services, Representational State Transfer. So we have two kinds of web services. I'll talk briefly about SOAP and what were the advantages of SOAP and why so much buzz about the whole web services and total service-oriented architecture itself, and then why it failed so miserably. And then we talk about what is so great about this RESTful architecture and everything about it. So, yep, that's the pretty much the last class. And somewhere here, once while we talk about the core Java object-oriented principle here itself, I introduce something fancy called JUnit. It's very, very, very fundamental in my opinion. JUnit. This is for unit testing. So I'll talk about what is the importance of unit testing and how many levels of testing we have. We have unit testing, integration testing, functional testing, regression testing, and all that stuff. So but the most important one is called unit testing. So why do we care as a developer, as a Java developer? Why would I care about the unit testing, and how does JUnit help me write the unit test? And my goal is to write the automated tests. So how do I achieve that using JUnit? And then I'm a big fan of another concept called test-driven development. So here I'll talk about test-driven development, and I'll help you do the test-driven development using JUnit. So test-driven development is nothing but before you write a single line of code, you write the test class. So before you have your Java class itself, you write a test class. So it's in a way to challenge us Java developers in such a way that we don't write a single line of code without writing a test case. So that eliminates a lot of duplicacy in code. That eliminates a lot of you ain't gonna need it. There is a principle in software engineering. There is a principle called Agni principle. So you ain't gonna need it, meaning if you don't need it, don't do it. So how we implement the Agni principle using TDD? So it's pretty fun part there, and I love that concept overall. Unit testing, JUnit, TDD. In fact, TDD is a small portion of a bigger industry term and bigger framework for project management called Agile methodology. So I will talk about Agile methodology. In particular, there is a particular Agile methodology called Scrum. So I will talk about Scrum and what Scrum teaches. So what do they advocate mostly, and why do they give importance to TDD? And here we'll talk about something called pair programming. So what is the importance of pair programming? It's nothing to do with the coding itself, but it's some principles that all developers follow across the globe to make their life easy. So we'll talk about that stuff, somewhere here. So that's exactly what I teach. This is the complete schedule. This is exactly how we evolve from day one on with the installation of Java itself, and we'll talk about the history of Java. And Java was never intended for web-based programming language, actually. So it was intended for something else. They wanted to use it in a smaller electronic items like microwaves and refrigerators, but it ended up being so ubiquitous everywhere in the world. If you look at the cell phones, if you look at the smaller electronic devices, and if you look at every single website, pretty much everything is written in Java, pretty much. And 60-70% of Google, it's written in Java. So they are big advocates of Java, and they support Java. And eBay, it was completely written in Java. I was in one of those conferences in Chicago 2 years back, and eBay's enterprise architect came there, and then he was talking about the complete architecture, and he said the complete stack in eBay was Java. And most of these websites, okay, including Amazon, so they use Java either completely or partially. So that's why Java is so popular, and especially now, industry wants good Java developers. In our company, we have been looking for Java developers for the last few months, and we couldn't find decent Java developer. We have been interviewing. In fact, we didn't get those many resumes too. Of course, our company is not doing great, but it's okay. But still, Nobody came. It's we are struggling to find good Java people, good Java developers. So that's why I advocate Java, and I love Java and I love teaching. So I've been programming and teaching pretty much my entire career. So let me see if everyone is still sleeping. Is everyone sleeping?
I'm still here.
No.
So okay. So any questions so far? How is it going? How are you guys doing?
It's good.
Good.
It's good. Is it sleepy? Is it too much for day one?
No, it's good.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry. Throughout this, which methodology we going to be using to do our works? Well, I'm sure you know.
How do you define a good Java developer? Is that the question, Tim? No,
This is for me.
yes.
I was trying to find out which methodology you're gonna follow. The Agile, the Scrum, or
Okay. Let me talk about it briefly. So we have multiple methodologies, right? For the last, let me mute everyone at this point. I'll get to your question, Tim, in a second, okay? How do you define a good Java developer? So regarding the methodologies, so we have been using the traditional waterfall methodology, right? So we have been using waterfall methodology. Waterfall methodology says that everything goes in one directional sequential fashion. Like you gather the requirements first, and then design, develop, test, and then deploy. So here if you take 2 months, 2 months for requirements gathering, 2 months for design, or 1 month for design, 3 months for development, 2 months for testing, and 1 month for deployment. Say 3, 6, 9 months, right? The biggest problem with the waterfall methodology is it works in the past, but the biggest problem with waterfall methodology is here in this example I wanted to build 20 features. Okay, and I gathered the requirement for these 20 features in 2 months, and designed for 1 month, developed for 3 months, and tested for 2 months, and deployed for 1 month, total 9 months. But if you wait 9 months to deploy those 20 features, you are not in the edge of the market anymore. Your time to market, for lack of better words, it sucks. So you are too late in the market, right? Rather, what Scrum says, or any other agile methodology, what they say is rather prioritize your 20 features. Okay, so what is the most priority feature here? So give me the features that you absolutely want on day one. Okay, these 3 features. Business user says that I want these 3 features absolutely on day one, without which I cannot survive. My website cannot survive. Okay, so this is what any agile methodology. We have in agile flavors. There are a couple of agile flavors, right? We have one thing called XP, extreme programming, and the other one is Scrum, and then another one called Kanban. So Scrum being the most popular one, that's being used pretty much everywhere. But it's actually a mix of everything, You can grab some of the nice features from XP, grab some of your nice features from Kanban. But agile principles are same. Be agile. That's what they say. So rather than saying, take 9 months and say, if the biggest strength of the agile framework, okay, is what they flat out say that is, you don't tell me after 9 months that it doesn't work. If it doesn't work, that's totally fine. Come back in 2 weeks and tell me that it doesn't work. It's very simple. So early failure is the biggest strength. You fail early. So this agile, what the take is, okay, you want these 3 requirements, right? Absolutely. Okay, I will take these 3 requirements here. They do it in a circular fashion. They don't do it this way. They do it in a circular fashion. So they take 2-week iteration. So they don't wait for 9 months to deploy anything. Every 2 weeks they do. They take probably the first feature and say that I'm taking the feature number 1, and here I will take requirements gathering. I'll take some time for design, development, testing, and deploy. So within 2 weeks, I'm going to deploy the feature number 1. So within another 2 weeks, I'm going to deploy feature number 2. Within 6 weeks, I'm going to deploy the 3rd feature as well. So in 6 weeks, we got done 3 most important features. 3 most important features. At this point, you are on the edge of the market, right? Within 6 weeks, you got delivered. Your website is up and running. Of course, with 3 most important features only, without which your website can't work. And at this point, if you realize that you don't have enough money, if business user realizes that I don't have enough money, then you can scrap the whole project and you just live with these 3 most important features. But these 3 features are not random features. These are the most important features. So you're always getting done the most important, biggest bang for the buck. So that's the Agile principle. Well, we have multiple flavors of Agile. We have XP, Scrum, and Kanban, but they all preach the same thing. They say that collaborate and cross-functional teams. So bring 1 BA, business analyst, 1 QA person, 1 developer, 1 architect, 1 lead. You together, you work as a cross-functional team, and you share your knowledge among yourselves. So that's the biggest point. And it doesn't matter which flavor you're using. Pretty much they're the same. Behind the scenes, if you understand those Agile principles heartfully, everything is same. But waterfall, nowadays, most of the teams are not using waterfall, but I have seen some, big vendors, big clients actually, like Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, they are still using waterfall. Well, it works okay with them. And but the only thing is they're too late. They're realizing they're moving to Agile. So waterfall is easy. Agile is my favorite, and this one rocks. And this is what industry has been trying to adopt. Did I answer your question, sir? Did I answer your question? Was it Melvin?
Yes, you did.
No, who was this question from? This question was from...
For me.
Oh, for me? Okay. Did I answer your question?
Yes, you did, sir. Thank you.
Wonderful. No problem. Now let me answer Tim Green's question. So how do you define a good Java developer? So how do you define a good Java developer? When I interview people too, okay, for my company. So when I interview people, what I look for is mainly a guy who has breadth than the depth. So it's okay if you have little depth, but I want you to have the broader knowledge and bigger picture. So don't always look at this and say, okay, this is my task, and I'm going to look at this task, that's all. I don't care where it's going to be used. Then I'm in trouble and you are in trouble and the entire company is in trouble. That doesn't work. You always look at your task in the bigger perspective. Ask a couple of good questions. Where is this going to be? Where is this going to fit in the bigger picture? Okay, I know the company's the biggest, whatever that one is, the what do you call that? The biggest theme. So I know the biggest theme is this one. Amazon says that they want to be the Earth's friendly, what What is that? It's most customer-centric company. Well, when you are doing a task, how does that align with the company's theme? And not only that, in a bigger project, generally your lead or architect will have a bigger understanding of the project. So they will always oversee the project. And being a entry-level developer, you'll always be working on your task. But don't think that your task is isolated completely. Don't think that. So I want someone with breadth of knowledge, some front-end knowledge, some middle-tier knowledge, some back-end knowledge. I want everything. But it's okay if you're not a specialist in one particular area. Well, if you don't know jQuery, I'm totally fine. Do you know the Ajax principles? Did you understand what an Ajax is? Well, I will consider you. Do you know what ORM is? Object Relational Mapping is? You don't know Hibernate? I'm totally fine. Did you realize the strengths of ORM? Yes. Do you know the applicability of the technology? When a scenario comes in tomorrow, you have to be able to think and say, hey, maybe we can use any of the ORM tools. You don't necessarily have to be expert in Hibernate. You can always Google it or learn that, read a book. You can be expert. But getting that breadth is very important. Always look in a bigger perspective. Put things into perspective is my mantra. Did I answer your question, Tim? I mean, I would always try to answer, and I would always try to question that guy to get that kind of answers and see, whether he's a decent Java developer or not. So always put things into perspective. That's my mantra. Okay. Any other questions at this point? Okay. So what I teach, this is the biggest one. And how I teach? Well, I teach everything online. And I taught almost, several batches in India, Malaysia, Singapore, here in US. I taught in university also here, Eastern Michigan University. That's where I met Rakesh. So I taught several batches, and later on, recently, I was thinking that, well, the live classes are good, but I'm confined to this one area. How about expanding myself and help more people achieve their goals? So at least a couple of students are here. My previous batch students, they just want to come here and then get a deeper understanding of Java. So that's how I teach. Okay, so that's my goal actually, and I cover everything from end to end. Everything is going to be online, and but you don't feel the difference because my energy is the strength for the class. That's what I get the feedback. I'm very energetic guy. My passion, because I'm passionate about it, right? I'm always passionate about this. So when I teach, I put all my senses into it. That's all. I'm immersed into it. So, and it's been working great actually. We didn't fail so far, my students, right? We never felt that, hey, maybe this online thing is not working. No, I got the excellent feedback so far, and the online teaching works. I was convinced first time that online teaching absolutely works if you have the right tools. I have the very right tools. So I have this tool where I can write with my pen. And I have this GoToMeeting, very nice little tool. And I can upload the entire video into screencast.com and I can share with you. And of course, I can take out you from the group at any point from screencast.com. So why Java? As I told you, industry is looking for quality Java developers. And we don't have those many. So we need you. We need Java developers. Actually, we are looking for good Java developers, and that's why Java. It's in great demand right now. all the financial institutes, all the big companies. Everyone is there's some billions of lines of code across the globe that's written in Java that's not going anywhere. Another couple of decades, absolutely Java is going to still exist. Java is the most powerful language. You Google it, you'll get it. Is working for you done through telecommuting, or do we need a relocate? 1 second, sir. Let me. Is working for you done? We will talk about that, Tim Green. We have to talk about that offline. Everything related to working, we have to take it offline, because I want you to understand here, I'm an independent Java trainer who is not too concerned about placements and other stuff. But the companies that I partner with, they deal with it. So here, today's class, I have at least 2 companies, representatives from 2 different companies, students from 2 different companies. So this one has to be taken offline, and either Ramu or Bhaskar will work with you, or I can answer your question offline. Is that okay? Awesome. So why now? I told you, you are in great demand right now. So absolutely, spend as much time as possible, and then get the experts. So as I told you, again, you don't have to have the deeper understanding of anything, but get that breadth of knowledge, and then you'll be a really good Java developer. And I will help you achieve your goals, but you need to spend a decent amount of time. And the one I'm looking at is, I will spend 8 hours per week. This is what I spend teaching, 8 hours per week. But I expect you to spend 20 to 25 hours per week if you want to be a really, really good programmer, and be passionate about what you're doing. Just don't do it just because you're supposed to do it, or you want job. Just once you started, start finding the things that you like most, and then keep working. It'll be a lot of fun. Coding is fun, believe me. That's what I like most. So, well, why me? I explained about myself. I've been teaching, I've been coding, I've been designing my whole career. So I'm not saying I'm the expert, I'm the best or something, but I have these 2 are my strengths, actually. Teaching. There are other people who are better programmers than me, but in combination with teaching skills, I think I'm pretty good. So I have very good teaching skills because I'm passionate about teaching as well. And somehow I think I have that strength of teaching it so well that you'll get it straight into your brain. So like Head First Java. There are some Head First books. I'm like that. I mean, I brag about myself here, but yes, I teach great. Okay. Duration is going to be 10 weeks. Okay. So 10 weeks, 8 hours per week. And everything starts here, javavenkat.com. This is my blog. And as I told you, my goal is to not answer anyone's email. I'll put it, if you ask a question, then I want to put that in my blog and make it available somewhere in the web and send you the link, so that if someone else has the same question, I can point them in the direction. So javavenkat.com, that's where everything starts. So there in my blog, I put my entire source code. I'll talk about that in a second. My source code is completely online. It's free. It's open source. I'm giving this back to my Java community, not only for you, for my students. It's giving back to my Java community for what it has given me. So I'm giving it back by throwing the source code out there in the internet. So you, at any point, all the examples that we do it, all of this, this is what we do, right? We learn everything, starting from core Java all the way to the web services. So all the web services will be online for you to go and get into your tool, get into your local machine and play with it. Just play with it. It's free, it's open source, and I made it available to everyone. Well, videos, whatever I'm teaching right now is getting recorded on my machine, and it gets converted into something that can be uploaded, and that takes generally 1 to 2 hours. And then within 2 hours, I will make this video available. So this is how I do it. Oops. This is how I do it. I upload this entire video to screencast.com. This is the website, screencast.com. I can show you live, how it looks. www.screencast.com. So here, this is like YouTube, but it's like a personal YouTube. Log in with your email ID. First, you have to sign up just by clicking somewhere here, enter your email ID, password, verify password, display name, and then sign up. But use the same email ID that you have given to me, because I'm going to give you access based on the email ID that you have provided to me. So that has to match. And then use your password and then sign in. Here you can see something called Java training. This is for the existing batch, okay? Now I will create a new folder here, either Java training 2 or Java training new batch or something like that. So it will be logged obviously, and I will give access to only those email IDs of my students. Just double click here, just click, oops, just a single click. See that? Just click here and you will see all the videos here. See, this is about exception handling. This is about the basic Java. I think I didn't give the proper name there, but this is about the fundamentals, the database concepts and SQL, HTML, JDBC1, JDBC2 and DAO, JDK 1.5 new language features, servlets 1, servlets 2. So at any point, you just click on it, and then the entire video will be downloaded. It will not be downloaded. It will be only, I gave only streaming access. Okay, so see that? That's me. Well, all the videos are available for you to go back and watch at any time. So missing a class here online is absolutely okay. If you can't make it, that's fine. Try to make it so that it will be a lot of fun. You can ask questions, it will be a lot of fun to meet everyone. But if you can't make it, absolutely fine. So now, tonight, what I expect you to do is go to screencast.com and then sign up with the email ID that you have provided to me. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add all the email IDs that I have, all the students that I have, and then I will give them the access. So that you can look at tonight's video, whatever I'm speaking, probably around 10, 11 o'clock. I'll make it available, and then you can absolutely watch it. That's pretty good thing about it. This is, I would say, this is one of the biggest benefits of online training, especially my training. Not everyone is doing it, so I make it available. Can you type your links here? Can you type your links here? What links are you talking about? Oh, this screencast.com. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, my blog. I'll start with my blog. My blog is javavenkat.com. In fact, Leonard and everyone else, okay? The screencast.com details are not available in my website. Let's go to my website, javavenkat.com. See this, online meetings. What do I need and how to join? I'm going to put one more link here, recorded meetings or recorded sessions. And then I will put all the details about the screencast.com. Okay, I will do that by end of tonight, by the end of the day. So whenever that one is, probably it's late night, I will do it. Okay, but in case if you're interested in, the website is going to be screencast.com. But my goal is everything will go into my blog, and you always start in my blog. As I told you, my entire source code, all the examples that we do, I make it available for free, right? I mean, to the community. See this source code. I use a tool called Subversion. Subversion is a version control system. So I use Subversion. Just click on this Subversion, and then here you can read it. All the Java code for my training is available through Google Code, Subversion repository. The URL for this repository is this one. Of course, you don't go to your browser. Rather, you get all of this stuff into your local machine. How do you get it? Well, you have to wait. We'll have that fun too. So probably in either class 1 or class 2, whenever you'll get there. So you'll install a tool called Eclipse. See, this is the one. Spring Source Tool Suite. This is the tool I use. I will put all the details about installing Java, installing this tool, installing whatever the necessary to get this code into your machines. Everything will be in my blog. So just all you have to do is just wait, and then everything will come to you. See this one, Core Java. Just open project. See this, all the source code is here. Whatever you see in the website is here. See, Core Java, source, com, training, Java, core, all the examples, everything related to it. Control flow, sure. And it's very exhaustively documented. See this, my documentation, how I wrote this. The difference between do while and while is the do while evaluates its expression at the end, at the bottom of the loop instead of the top. One second, please. See that? My documentation. So I provide exhaustive documentation for my examples. So the reason is I have Eclipse installed on my machine. Is it okay? Eclipse is okay, but I highly recommend, and I wouldn't say dictate, but I highly recommend you install STS. And also, I highly recommend certain folder structure. I would say that in your C drive, you have to have a folder called Java Training. Inside that, you have two folders. One is environment. This is where everything else goes. This is where your Java goes. This is where your Spring Source goes. And in your project, this is where all of your projects go. So I highly recommend you have this structure. You just wait for an email from me, and then you install it again, Leonard. Is that okay? So you keep your Eclipse away and you follow this one. The reason I'm emphasizing on this one is later on it's going to make your life easy and my life easy. If you come to me for any help, then I don't ask you, hey, where are your projects or where is your Spring Source? Because I expect all of you to follow that standard. The second advantage is when you install STS, you will get automatically your Tomcat, your Maven stuff, whatever you need throughout the entire session. You will get everything as a package. That's why I highly recommend you install STS. Even if you have your Eclipse, Just keep it away. So, and this one comes with some of the plugins that we absolutely needed. So this is much better tool. Once you join any company, I highly recommend you don't use normal Eclipse. You rather use this Spring Source tool suite. Is STS, Spring Source. I'll put that, okay, everyone. Spring Source tool suite. Well, these details will go into my website too. Where do they go? They go here. They go in my website like this. Installation. Here you will see install Java. I'm going to rewrite this install Java again with good tools, and then install subclips. Install STS and install subclips. So I will provide all the documentation. Everything will be in my blog, and everything will be here in my videos. So my goal is to have more fun and have less pain. That's what it is. Well, I told you videos and everything about the videos. So it's going to be available in screencast.com. Well, online training, I'm telling you, now you are actually seeing how I'm writing and how I'm teaching. This is whiteboard is right in front of you and my energetic voice. So combination, absolutely, it works. Online training rocks. The schedule. Well, the schedule. Since my current batch, I'm meeting on Tuesday and Thursday. I told them Saturday and Sunday, but I'm moving them to just Sunday. So I need 8 hours per week, right? So 2 hours on Tuesday, 2 hours here, and 4 hours here. This is for my existing batch. So for you guys, the new batch, this is what I kind of, I don't have much option. I cannot take everyone's opinion and, agree upon something because I can't do it. My hands are tied because of this 3 days. So I am left with 3 other days, Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. So Monday, 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, obviously, EST. And Wednesday, same thing, 6:30 to 8:30. And then Saturday, probably you'll hate me for this, but morning 8 to 12. My goal is, to get done with the training and everything by noon so that we can play with our kids and, spend time with family, because I'll be teaching on Sunday too. So I want to get done as soon as possible. So that's why, but I need 4 hours. That's why I say 8 to 12, and it works. Because after 2 hours, we'll take a small break, 5 minutes break, and then we'll continue from there. And it's never boring, so don't worry. I'll make sure you don't sleep. The source code, I told you where my source code is. Everything again. The pointer is only one. It's a single door. That's my blog. That's why I give highly importance to my blog. That's where everything happens. So source code, you go there and click on the source code, and it will take you. And you'll have instructions on how to get there too. So how is everyone doing?
Good.
Good? Very good. Very good, very good, very good. So you're still sleeping, right? Very good. Okay. I believe that's it from my end. And let's spend more time on Q&A. I want to answer every single question. Can we move on Wednesday to 7:30 to 9:30? Leonard, unfortunately, I don't think I can. I'm sorry about that. But the only reason is, after 8:30, I come back from office a little late. So after 8:30, I want to spend some time with kids, and then, before they go to bed. That's the goal. But the good thing is, it's okay if you miss some part of it. It's okay. I'm going to make this entire video for that night available that night itself. 6:30 to 8:30, right? So I plus 2 hours. By 10:30, you will have the entire video online, so you can watch that entire thing. Can you change the time Saturday class? I don't think so. I'm sorry, Alam. The only reason is my hands are tied here. I used to be very, very, very flexible, but unfortunately now I have the other batch going on, 6 days. But again, as I told you, 8 to 12, by 2 o'clock it will be online. It will be online. By 2 o'clock it will be online. The whole thing will be in screencast. Okay? Any other questions at this point?
Is there any difference between using a Windows platform or Unix platform for these classes?
That's a fantastic question. That's Melvin?
Yes.
Melvin. That's a fantastic question. So, do you have Mac?
No, I'm just saying I have Windows and I have Unix as well.
Okay, I recommend Windows for my own sake.
Okay.
The reason is one of my students in the current batch. One second, I'll mute everyone and accept you. Okay. So Melvin,
Yeah.
I would recommend Windows. Actually, that's why I mentioned in my blog also. I expect you to have Windows one. That's very easy and aligned with everyone else. One of my students in my current batch, she has Mac, and everything is different in Mac. So I had to spend so much extra time. Literally, it's a decent number of hours, Total
Yes.
together, I must have spent at least 10 hours extra. So I want to get out of that process,
Awesome. That's fine by me.
Okay, awesome. Now let me unmute everyone. Okay, very good. Any other questions? So what do you guys think about this whole online thing? What do you think about my my nice little whiteboard and my screencast.com, my blog, and overall, what's your gut feeling?
I have taken some classes, some online classes and some live classes for the QA that I took. And then I have to say the online classes is the way to go.
Absolutely.
It's definitely, especially if the classes are being recorded. If you miss 5 minutes or 10 minutes, you missed those minutes, but whatever it is,
Yep.
you have the ability to go back into a screencast and actually review all of the material, whatever. I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wish when I went to college, I did it, I did an online class, but I never did that.
Right. Yeah, I like that. I was very skeptical about this whole idea of online teaching. That's why I didn't get into this, market all this while. But I just wanted to give myself, little chance to just come out of my shell. And then it's awesome. It's great. I'm very excited about it.
It is.
And the way it works.
Good.
And do you like this whiteboard thing? And the one I'm writing on?
Yes, it's very good.
It's pretty cool, right?
It's very good. Yes, it's actually better than the classes that I took before, because the classes that I took before, the guy was using a regular notepad, but he was using color marker, and then he always used the yellow color. It was sometimes difficult to make up whatever he was writing.
Right.
Yeah. But this is awesome.
Very good.
It gives you a different perspective as to what online teaching looks like, So this is good.
Yep, it's a different perspective. Absolutely.
A quick question. I know you answered it earlier.
Uh-huh.
I just want to what development environment we're going to be using? I'm sure you know, but
What development?
the development environment, the IDE.
Oh, the IDE, we use Eclipse.
Eclipse, okay.
Yes, but it's not plain Eclipse.
I
Okay,
see.
it's not plain Eclipse. It's called, okay, you have a basic Eclipse here, okay? So we don't use this basic Eclipse. We use, okay, we use something called Spring Source Tool Suite. Spring Source Tool Suite. I call this as Eclipse plus plus because it's exactly Eclipse, but it comes with its own, some more plugins pre-built without you having to do anything. So this is much better than Eclipse. So some of these plugins, by default, you get it. So you don't have to go get it. You can get any plugin. See, you can install your Eclipse and get other plugins, absolutely, and make it as STS, but you don't have to go through that pain. STS, you install, everything is pre-built.
I see. Okay.
Did you get that? The Spring Source is the company behind the Spring Framework.
Oh, nice. Okay.
This is a company behind Spring Framework, and they tightly integrate the STS with Spring Framework.
Nice.
Okay, so later on you will understand, some of the very simple features like when you're dealing with the Spring config XML file, then everything is it's IDE friendly because you are using STS and everything works as is.
So if you just download Eclipse by itself, so I have one on my computer. For some reason, I don't have that option where it doesn't give you IntelliSense when you're writing code.
Oh, which one?
Is it like an add-on?
I didn't get that. Oh, Spring Source. Okay, Maven, you are saying? I didn't get the point. Sorry.
Spring Source has Maven plugin.
Yes, by default. That's what I was saying. So Spring Source, when you install it, later on I'm going to send you the instructions on how to install your Spring Source tool suite. So while installing STS, by default it asks you, hey, do you want to install your it asks you a couple of things. Do you want to install your TC server, Tomcat server, and do you want to install your Maven? And you say yes to both of them, and then it's good to go.
Nice. Okay.
And whose webcam is that, by the way? I don't know. It's not mine. If you think it's mine, no, it's not mine. I don't know. Someone accidentally opened it. It's not my webcam. So please, turn it off. Okay. Let me read all the other questions and other comments. Let me read. Can you change the time? No. Exciting. Oh, Tim Green, exciting. Very good, Tim. It's positive. Thank you. Shiba. So you liked it. Very good. Ankita, this is my first time online class, and I think it didn't seem it was online. It's like I'm sitting in a classroom and studying. Awesome. Wonderful, wonderful, Ankita. Thank you for the comments. And yes, that's me. That's how I try my best to be like that. Alam, do you use any references for this training? Meaning, can you elaborate that question, Alam?
I mean, do you have any just text or tutorial for this class?
Oh, that one, other than my code itself, my code and the video, as we go through various phases, I recommend various books. The first couple of books that I recommend right now on day one are Head First Java. You try to buy the book or you try to get it from Google. There are some free books available, but I don't advocate downloading free ones. I know it's intellectual property and all that stuff, but it's totally up to you. it's totally your choice. So, but I recommend this book, Head First Java, just to start with. And from my students, I didn't read myself, but when my students recommended this one, Java for Dummies.
Yeah.
Java for Dummies. They said, start with this one. I didn't read this myself, but apparently this is a great one to start with. So on day one, I would recommend these two. And one of my other friends long back recommended this book, Thinking in Java. And you can get all of them probably for free in Google, but it's up to you whether you want to do it or not. So I don't interfere there. How you want to read it, it's up to you, but these are the books. Other than my videos, other than my examples themselves. And oh yes, one more. Alan, thank you for asking this question. In my website, if you look at useful links, there's a lot of stuff here. Go here, useful links, Core Java, JVM basics. If you want to get some JVM basics, absolutely. See, it was nicely explained in this blog. And then Core Java, IBM.com, say a good introduction to Java language features. Absolutely. Go through this article. See, next, there are some 18 pages on that. Go through that. And then Head First Java book itself. I recommended that to buy it from Amazon. And then Java tutorial by Oracle itself. Absolutely. This is great one. So object-oriented programming concepts. What is an object? What is a class? This is a great reference. So everything starts with my blog. Simple. Everything should be there.
Okay.
That's my goal. Okay. And then collections framework. When you come to collections framework, there is a nice article. Collections framework. You just keep going. Next. You will see it. And then Java POSI. This has very good reference to various newscasts. And then database concepts and SQL. There is another article on this one. See this one? So as you go through it, JDBC drivers, one, interview questions, I put some, okay? I found this one online. And I myself have some interview questions here. On the left side, you should see something called interview questions. So I have some questions and answers, but I will keep adding. This one I did it a couple of batches ago, and I've been lazy. I'm going to add more questions to it. Okay? So everything starts from my blog. Sheba, Spring Source has Maven. Yes. You're welcome, Mankita. Tim Green, I find the Head First. Okay. I find the Head First books hard to read. It's like a comic book. I just can't follow with all the comic pictures. Oh, you don't like that, Tim? I somehow like that as all the Head First books somehow, they just go straight into my head. I have tried Java for Dummies, but just doesn't have depth. How do I get these books free on Google? Just Google it. Like Oracle Docs on Java. Nice downloadable tutorial. Okay. Will you provide interview questions and solutions throughout the training? Yes, absolutely. I will. At each level, when we are talking about servlets, then I'll talk about, servlets interview questions. And at every point when I'm talking about simple final keyword, okay, I immediately say this is a very, very, very important interview question. Okay. So yes, absolutely. I cover every single concept, and especially in the interviews perspective. And how do you get that? For free, this one. There are some website apparently. Head First Java, free ebook download. I don't know how they get it. There are multiple websites you can get it from. You download. There's 101. It's a huge one, but you are downloading into your machine, so no problem. There are so many. You just Google it, you will get. There are so many websites that make you available for free. From Sheba, I like Head First. It covers all concepts even for interviews. Okay, that's good to know. Yep, I like Head First too. Very good book called Head First Design Patterns. That's one of my favorite books. I know it helped my husband too. Very good, Ankita. So that helped. Yep. So any other questions, any other comments at this point? The one more thing right now is we are going to meet on Wednesday at 6:30. Wednesday from 6:30 to 8:30. But there is no class on Saturday. This Saturday only. This Saturday only because I want to start very slow. So I just want to have this one session. And before that, I might send you some links to my blog to install Java, to install STS, Spring Source Tool Suite, and then install something else called Subclips. So I will help you. I'll provide links to all of this. Install Java, install STS, install Subclips. So we will talk about, we'll just get the class going on Wednesday. We'll just scratch the surface on Wednesday. We'll see, what is Java, briefly, very brief introduction and history to Java, very like 5 minutes. I don't want to spend more than that. And then we'll install Java. In fact, we did with this by then itself. I expect you to install Java by the class itself. Yes, I expect you to install Java before the class because I'm going to spend some time tonight and create the blog and then send it to you. So it's very simple. And STS, it's okay if you don't, if you didn't install by Wednesday, because on Wednesday we are not going to use STS. Because I want you to feel the pain first. We will use very simple tool like Notepad, and then we will program like a first 2 programs or something like that. We'll just code first 2 programs, 1 or 2 programs, hello world programs, and how do you pass your arguments to the program. Very simple stuff. We will play with that. But again, as I told you, STS is not necessary for Wednesday, but eventually I'll send the URL to my blog to install STS and Subclips as well. So I don't want to spend my time here with you folks installing these guys. Rather, I'll send you the blog post so that we can spend our time on more fun stuff, talking about something else, something more fun. That's my goal. So all the mundane stuff, I want you guys to do it on your own. Of course, with my help. I will provide you help. I'll provide you a blog post. So you just use it and then come prepared. So we'll have a lot of fun. Okay. Any other questions? Any other comments at this point?
I just wanted to ask one question, please.
Yes, please.
You told to come on Monday and be prepared. So from what we have to from what we have to read, what we have to read and come?
Okay, very good question, Ankita. This is how I do it generally, okay?
Yeah.
So for Wednesday's class, I will say that install Java and then install Java and then useful links. I'll go to useful links and then I will read the first one, especially the JVM basics. Okay. I will read this one and I'll probably read this one too, the second one also, this entire thing. There's some 16 or 18 pages, Java compiler, garbage collector, what is the Java development kit, what is Java runtime environment, installing. Don't install anything, but just read it because I'm going to cover everything else later on. Okay? So, so if possible, try to read first 2 blog posts here, these 2.
Okay.
Okay, by the next class.
Yes.
And then you can have, you can get more than 100% if you do that. You know what I'm saying? Then it's like refreshing, pretty much. Oh yeah, I know this, I know this, I know this. Oh yes, this is fun, this is fun. You know, it'll be more fun if you read it. And the other thing is, thank you, Ankita. It's a very important question. Is I'm going to tell you upfront what I'm going to teach in the next class. So I ask everyone to sort of be advanced a little bit. So stay ahead of the game for at least 2 classes to have more fun. Just stay ahead of the game. That's all I'm saying. Okay? And you know, in some cases what I do is I'll probably give you the video from my previous batch. You know, if I'm talking about exception handling, right? So I'll just put exception handling video. You just go through that. Once we come back and talk about it, it's like, oh yeah, this concept, I know it. Oh yeah, this is pretty cool. So at least you go through my video. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes.
So 1 class ahead or 2 classes ahead. You always stay ahead of me to have more fun and to get more benefit. This is an excellent point. Okay, thank you for the great question. What else? Anything else at this point? You want to talk about Super Bowl? I'm ready. Again. So yeah, that's how it works. So are you guys excited? Like me?
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't wait, definitely.
Absolutely. Rock and roll. Yep, I know. It'll be a lot of fun, I'm telling you. It's like, I just love this. So I'm very excited about this whole thing. Which Super Bowl commercial did you like most? Tim, okay. My favorite one is Fiat 500. The Fiat 500, when you the caption is, you don't forget first time you see Fiat 500. I love that. I love the caption. And I like that Hyundai heart attack thing too. I mean, the Hyundai car, his dad or boss, I don't know who that one is. He gets heart attack in the middle, and then this guy is like bumps. So that's pretty cool too. Cool. That's all. Actually, if you don't have any questions, and that's all for today. And you know, we will meet on Wednesday, 6:30 to 8:30. And again, I'm telling you, this is what I expect for before the Wednesday's class. Install Java. I'm going to send you the instructions. Okay?
Awesome.
So install Java. I'll send you the instructions and read these 2 blogs. Read first 2 blogs. Oops. Read first 2 blogs. Okay? This is what I expect. If you can do both of these 2, then you will have a lot of fun on Wednesday. You will still have, even if you don't do it, but you'll get everything straight into your brain if you do it. That's all. That's all I have. So have a good night, and see you guys on Wednesday.
Thank you, Venkat. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Then that's how I'm going.